to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America.
I love that one. That's one of Frank's favorites. Folks, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Friday. It's a Friday free-for-all. We might even call this the Furious Friday free-for-all. Well, it's certainly not going to be the Fast and Furious because I have at least 1 hour's worth of stuff to go over with you. And I'm glad you're here. You will not find another show like this on the internet anywhere, I guarantee it. There's some that try to be like the Prepared Mind. There's some that wish they could be like me and you having cool conversations about shit that really matters. But folks, essentially all of us are individuals and we all do things a little differently. So I do things the way I fucking do things. And sometimes I just don't give a fuck. There, I hit my fuck hat trick. I got 3 of them in the goal. Welcome back. Get your questions in down below. We're going to get into this. Get your questions in because this is the Free-for-All Friday, which means I'm going to do a couple questions. Then you guys get your Q&A, and we'll go back and forth. Back and forth. And right now, I'm telling you, Sunday Night Live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, Sunday night. It'll be Sunday Night Live. And we're going to get ready for the upcoming week because there is some weird shit. As Bill and Ted would say, there's strange things afoot at the Circle K. Oh, my God. Woo! So let's start with this, folks. Let's just kick it off. I'm going to make some of you mad. I'm going to make some of you furious. I'm going to make some of you smile and laugh your ass off. Now, there's a man accused of throwing a Molotov cocktail. A man? How do we know he's a man? He's dressed in all black. He's got a hat on, gloves on, mask on. Can't see. How do they know it's a man? They're making an assumption that men are a bunch of violent, brainless pricks. Well, I'm going to say that communist men are violent, brainless pricks. So this guy threw this Molotov cocktail at a Jewish church known as a synagogue in the great state of New Jersey. Dressed like Antifa, acts like Antifa, must be a patriotic American Republican, don't you think? Once again, we have another fine, sterling example of left-wing mentality, left-wing hatred, and left-wing violence. Welcome to Friday. I am going to do my best to be a lazy, no good for nothing guy this weekend and just chill. It's weeks like this that make me wish I could hop on a plane to the RMZ, cross some water, land in the jungle, and just sip on shit. But nope, only Jimmy gets to hang out there. Okay, I'm going to do one more. And this one is also, maybe it'll make you mad. Maybe it'll make you furious. Maybe it'll make you laugh and go, yeah, that's the way that shit works. There is now fury, anger, and chaos in the United Kingdom. That's jolly old England. Because Scottish politicians want to allow male-born criminals, that is, criminals with penises, they want to allow them to go to women's prisons. Not only that, but these dumb fucking Scots politicians, I'm not going to call them Scotsmen because that doesn't sound like a decision any real man would make. I don't want to call them Scots women because I don't like to say women behind anything. We're mankind, not womankind. But moreover, the male-born criminals that they want to put in women's prisons are convicted rapists. Unfucking believable. these Scots, these Englishmen, these Irish are becoming more and more woke by the day. You people over there in Great Britain, UK, Britannia, you need to wake the hell up and take your country back as much as we in the US need to wake up and take our countries back. And we're waking up and we're fighting back, and it's going to get ugly. But attention, woke Scots. If any distillers go woke and I find out about it, I will never buy their scotch again, no matter how good it is, no matter what price it comes. In fact, if I find out, for example, Lafrogue goes woke and someone sends me a bottle of Lafrogue, I won't drink it. Same with Macallan, same with Glenfiddich, same with Glenfarclas, same with Glenlivet. I would be very sad that they became woke idiots, and I will not reward them. I will not sully this temple of a human body with woke scotch. Won't happen. Not gonna happen. Now, I want to thank Mr. T for stepping up and doing a great job with our promotional material. I want to step up and thank Mr. Ooman for always being on the other side and promoting thinking, critical thinking, objective thinking, rational thinking. Thank God for people like Ooman. And I also want to thank Mr. Skylight, who, behind the scenes, does so much. Okay. So many of you, Jolene, the whole bit of you. Okay. So let's do this. Let's kick it off with one of your. If you are here live Monday through Friday, and you are on the preparedmind.club or subscribestar.com, you're part of the Prepared Mind inner circle. How cool is that? How cool is that? The inner circle. All right, Mr. Ooman, I think we're ready to take our first question. And it comes from Mikey G. And Ooman, keep me updated with what questions are in what order and how many and all that stuff and the smart stuff you know about. He says, anyways, Mikey G says, any updates on the Chinese balloon of doom? And I call BS on the reasons for not shooting it down. Here's what I'm going to ask you, Mikey. I want you to put in the comments to Ooman what their BS reasons are. I want to hear you and what you have discovered their BS reasons are. Okay, I'll talk about what I think the balloon of doom is, but I want to hear from you guys what the excuses are for not shooting down a national fucking security risk. Okay? Unbelievable what is going on or what is not going on. Just crazy. And Mr. Skylight, there's no way I can listen to the transgender dating scene in song. Can't do it, buddy. I tried. I couldn't get there. Super funny shit. Okay, let's go to the balloon of doom. Let's see. Balloon of doom. Here we are. Here's what I wanted to say about it. Right? The Pentagon refuses to shoot it down. The suspected Chinese spy balloon that was hovering over Montana for days. For days. Now, number one, the Pentagon initially refused to say that it was Chinese, and then they decided to admit that it's Chinese. So how do they know it's a spy balloon? Because it has the ability to direct itself. It's not a fucking balloon like one we would release. It just floats up and goes wherever the wind blows it. It has probably a solar array, a battery pack, power, etc. Yeah, it's not just a weather balloon. They don't put those things on weather balloons. In fact, This is hilarious. Oh, shit, the fucking internet is taking a shit on us. Okay. Wow. Okay. We're back. Why not shoot it down while it was over Montana? Now get this. I caught this right away, and it took all fucking day for the news to catch on that way up in Montana, a state plagued with cows and cow farts, there are also numerous, very numerous nuclear weapon silos. That's right, nuclear weapon silos, folks. Along the northern border of the United States of America, the military has placed nuclear weapons in silos because it seems that it's faster and easier to shoot over the top of the North Pole than it is to try and fly from, say, the West Coast all the way to Moscow, or the East Coast all the way to Moscow around the equator, right? It's easier just to send them over the top of the North Pole. So they figured the Russians aren't stupid. They're going to probably shoot their missiles over the top of the North Pole and rain down terror on us. So here's China with a now admitted spy balloon that's been hovering over the exact same fucking spot over Montana. So why not shoot it? Why not shoot it down? So what I came up with is it's actually an alien probe, like from the movie Empire Strikes Back. And it's in disguise as a weather balloon. And if the military shoots down yet another weather balloon like they did in 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico, they're going to have a hard time covering it up, right? Because the people know about this weather balloon now. Or maybe this weather balloon is harboring an EMP device. And if it detects any missiles, any rockets, any jets coming within range of it, it will ignite the EMP device, disabling our entire northern border and its nuclear missile silos and defense systems. NORAD would be defenseless from an attack from the north. Why didn't they just turn around and say it was a Russian balloon, and then we could really go after them in Ukraine? Right? Why? I wonder why. As the Department of Defense, the Pentagon sent fighter jets up to intercept this balloon? Or were they told stay the fuck away from it? Maybe it's not an EMP. I want to see what the White House, what Jean-Karine Pierre, the idiot, has to say, or even Biden himself, or maybe a DOD spokesjackass, or maybe even General Milli Vanilli says, I'm good friends with the Chinese generals. In fact, I want to be a communist. Maybe he'll say something to explain what's going on. But I want to hear their excuses. You bring me their excuses, man. But get this, maybe it has a pod on it containing extinction level event quantities of cerveza bug. Maybe that's what it's got. They're afraid to shoot it down because it'll explode, releasing bat virus all over everyone. Or maybe it has weapons grade mRNA Jim Jones juice particles in it. And if they shoot it down, it could explode. Right? Are they, in other words, is China using some form of extortion to keep the United States government from blowing up their obvious spying satellite? Right? Now, if China had a weather balloon that kind of blew off course, don't you think that they would tell the government, and the government would tell America, hey, a weather balloon's flying over, not a big fucking deal. Chill out. We were warned about it. We were told about it. It's not breaking any law. But still, why the fuck doesn't China send up, before it blew out of China all the way, send up, let's say, one of their own jets and shoot their own shit out of the air? It's obvious that a weather balloon is going to cost $1 million or less. Yet they're going to risk pissing off every country and going to war by sending this thing around the world in the most suspicious fucking manner, period. And if it was, I guess, blown off course, why didn't it use its propeller system that helped it stay over Montana for 2 fucking days? Why the hell didn't it use that to fly back into China? See, none of this makes any fucking sense. Except maybe the whole, it's an alien probe. And we all know that being probed by aliens is not such a good thing. But wait. But wait, there's more. In Canada, they're monitoring a, quote, potential second incident of Chinese spy balloons. In other words, there's more than one of these fucking things up there. What do you think of that, Joe Sixpack? Joe America? Joe Mama? I tell you what I'm going to do. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a little bit of fun. I really think that this has everything to do with Trump. Somehow this is Trump's fault. Somehow this is your fault. Somehow, patriots, make America great again. America firsters, we're to blame. Let's think about what our government thinks of us, the American citizens, veterans, taxpayers, parents. And then we'll get back to the question of what is the government saying?
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. MAGA Republicans, extremism. MAGA Republicans, extremism. Donald Trump is not normal. MAGA Republicans, extremism. Donald Trump is not normal. Extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. MAGA Republicans, extremism. Donald Trump, extremism. Donald Trump is not normal. Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
That's enough of that shit. Remember, folks, these people hate you. So if this balloon was there to blow us up, drop shit on those nuclear sites, launch an EMP, spread cerveza bug, or even the dreaded Jim Jones juice particles, I don't think that son of a bitch in the White House would give a shit. All right, let's do this. Ooh, man, let's see some of those responses, if you will. Mikey G says, the reasons for not shooting it down is dangerous debris in the least populated state in the United States of America. Yeah, dangerous debris could fall out of the air. How many pieces of shit, junk-ass satellite and space junk is in low Earth orbit that falls back to the sky or to the ground all the time? How many Boeing bombs are dropped by fucking jets? Yeah, I'm not buying that one, Mikey. Dangerous debris. Right? We've had these Skylink bullshit satellites of Elon Musk. I think they're also high altitude balloons. But don't you think it would be completely believable that a helicopter could fly up there? I know it's way up in the air, but you know, helicopters can go way up in the air too. In fact, helicopters go up pretty high. They can go really high. I think they can go 20,000 feet. So, anyways, let's assume that a helicopter can fly 10 feet above said balloon. It could have a hook that hooks, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's skyhook. You could fly up in the sky, hook the thing, and pop it so the air goes out and then drag the fucking thing back to the ground. So dangerous debris doesn't fall out of the sky. How do we know this thing, which is out of control, apparently, even though it managed to hover over Montana for 2 days, how do we know it doesn't have a dangerous weapon? And we would rather have it blow up and explode someplace. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not buying that one. Yeah, we don't want dangerous debris to fall out of the sky. It could hit cows, for fuck's sake. Oh, wait, cows belch and fart. Noxious carbon dioxide, killing the planet. Wouldn't hurt to drop it on a couple of cows. I tell you, that's a good one. Thank you, Mikey G. Okay, I'm going to see the next one. Heidi12, Heidi says, maybe it spent those days in Montana looking for something to land on. Maybe it did, huh? That's the best the fucking Pentagon can come up with. Right? If this thing has directional control, it also has the ability to release more hydrogen or helium or whatever the fucking balloon is full of to go up or down at will. Right? Isn't that supposed to be the point of high technology? Being able to control shit? I mean, China could use some sort of logic. America, the balloon, if it was dangerous, we would shoot it down. But it's not dangerous. You can trust us. We're China. We know what we're doing. Don't worry about the balloon. You don't have to shoot it down. We wouldn't want anything dangerous to fall out of the sky and kill someone. Just let it float over your country's nuclear missile sites and maybe even Washington, D.C. Now, folks, I know people in the Washington, D.C. area. And it would be terrible if they were killed along with all the scumbags in Washington, D.C. if something were to happen, like a nuclear bomb or EMP went off up there. Something bad is going to happen to Washington, D.C. America is being killed from the inside. It's being neutered intentionally. And I wouldn't be surprised if the powers that be, the Davos douches, I would not be surprised, folks. And I'd like you to think about this. They've been trying to kill America and get rid of it for decades. A lot of the world hates America because they hate the United States government and its policies. How pleased would Davos be? How pleased would the billionaires be if they cut the head off of the U.S. and caused chaos to run rampant in our country because they took out Washington, D.C.? And it would appear that there's just no leadership anywhere. Yeah, like D.C. has fucking leadership. Like we need laws coming out of Washington, D.C. to tell us how to get from our home to work every day. All right. That was interesting. I want to know why. Why won't they shoot it down? I don't know. They're just not making a lot of sense. Now, this is, once again, a furious Friday. And this really is what set me off. It really set me off a lot. In Florida, down in Florida, folks, an incident happened on a bus. One school student savagely beat the living shit out of another student, and then that student's brother as well. Turns out that the student doing the beating was a male teen from high school, while the one being beaten not only was a 9-year-old, but was a girl. This happened on a school bus. And then, folks, the teenager started beating the shit out of the 10-year-old brother of the 9-year-old girl. Now, the parents are having to press charges. Why? Because the school is refusing to take any action. The school says it can't do anything about this incident. But there's some more facts that I think I need to share with you that are going to piss you off and make you furious, because I'm sick, and I'm sure you're sick, of being fucking race baited. The teen male, who was huge compared to the kids, the little children he was wailing on, happened to be black. The kids being beaten happened to be white. Right? The large male teen beat the shit out of the white 9-year-old little girl and then began beating up her 10-year-old white brother. Now, if the school won't call the police, we have to ask the question, why not? Why not? Well, to me, the only answer is they don't want a racial incident or to suffer a political broken nose over this incident. The evil school calls police on black student because he's black, some bullshit like that. Well, folks, it's not about race. It's not about black. It's not about white. It's not about anything like that. It's about crime, justice, and innocence. But these woke schools, because they're run by liberal fucking communist socialist pieces of shit, they're woke. Even in Florida, they're woke. And so they think everyone's going to accuse them of being racist for holding people accountable for criminal activity. It's not like the student, right, was selling crayons. He took the Crayolas and peeled the wrapper off of them so you couldn't tell they were Crayolas. And he was selling those, or he was selling another brand and calling them Crayola. That's not crime, okay? Beating the ever-loving fuck, repeatedly slamming a little girl in the face with your fist when you're a large male teenager is a crime, no matter what color you are. The fact that the school wouldn't do anything begs the question, is it because the student was black, right? And folks, real life has shitty things happen. I don't know what the real reason is, right? But the law and justice are supposed to be blind to shit like race, religion, and all this. It's about crime and holding it accountable with justice and protecting innocence and peace, right? Now, I'm going to go even further because I want to piss everyone off. Even if the 9-year-old and the 10-year-old kids used racial slurs, even if they did that, a high school male is far too large. And he should be mature and far smarter to just handle it, to deal with it, to laugh it off, to not give a fuck. Folks, I win psychological battles every day without pummeling people with 270 pounds of Germanic, Celtic, Swedish, Viking muscles raining hammer-fisted blows to the soft parts of soy boys. I manage to do that every single day. And nothing that is said to me by anyone ever makes me beat the shit out of them, ever. And as a small boy, folks, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7-year-old, I was called every shitty racial slur in the book. And a few special ones were invented just for me because I'm so particularly white. And I got it from blacks. I got it from Hispanics. I got it from Asians. I got it from everybody. And you know what? It never, ever, ever made me feel less than human or less decent or not good enough or anything. It never made me hate myself in any way. In any way. I knew, even as a 5-year-old kid, that the person calling me names, attempting to hurt me, was the one with the problem. And I'll tell you what, probably the biggest trouble I ever had was with kids who were redheads. That's right, folks. Redheads were the biggest bullies. Just like on the Christmas Story when that fucking redhead would pick on Ralphie, right? They were the worst. I don't know what the deal is. I have no problem with redheads now. In fact, they make me laugh. Everyone makes me laugh. And I just know that anyone that has a fucking problem with me and the way I look, who gives a shit, right? I know that the problem is theirs. So I don't know what this kid's problem was. I don't know if his attack on the kids was racially motivated. I don't know if it was something. I don't know. All I know is the school is not pressing charges or doing anything about it. And if I was one of the parents of the children, I wouldn't wait for the fucking school in the first place. Once again, parents waiting on someone else to do their fucking job for them. But overall, this shit has to be stopped. And I hope the district attorney down there sends a very clear message to would-be thugs. And I wish that the United States Attorney General Garland wasn't a sellout, pussy, scumbag, communist, egg-sucking wimp who was politically motivated to not prosecute the Bidens, including Hunter and Pelosi and the Clintons and the Obamas and the Romneys and everyone else. But that's the world we live in. Politics, politics, politics. Racial division, age division, wealth division, anything they can do to divide us. When I saw this story, I did not think, oh, stupid black guys. I just thought they're not enforcing the rules. And they're teaching division and hatred in school, are they not? Now, Florida has said no more of this African studies that has anti-American communist bullshit in it. It's not that it's the African studies is bad. It's the bullshit that's been added to it. So they can say, okay, we're going to do some African studies. And by the way, Karl Marx was great. And you should steal everyone else's shit. And killing capitalists is fine. Right? That's the problem. The shit has to be stopped. I don't know how long these kids have lived with this crap, but it's probably far too long. Far too long. All right. Now I've blabbed on quite a bit. We're at the half-hour mark. We're supposed to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth so we can talk. So let's do this. Let's do one of your guys' questions. Ooh, man, do you have anything for me out there that is worthy of the Furious Friday free-for-all? And he says, did you hear about that guy? This is coming from Ooh Man himself, so you know it's juicy. So did you hear about that guy that ran over the doctor in California, then stabbed him to death while screaming anti-white slogans? News is dancing around the reverse racism thing like mad. Yes, I did hear about this. Somewhere down on the Pacific Coast Highway, which is a very beautiful area. Apparently, this guy ran down this fucking guy on a bike, and a Ring telephone, Ring doorbell system caught it. Apparently, the guy was driving I think a white Lexus, and he speeded up when he saw the fucking guy on the bicycle, right? And the part I read was it was a personal grudge over the guy that it ran over was a doctor, and the guy that hit him was supposedly a patient. Right. But then we have these other alleged facts that the guy not only ran him the fuck over in a very gruesome manner, but he gets out of the car and stabs the doctor to death. The doctor, I guess, well, maybe he lived long enough to go to a hospital to be pronounced dead. But he was like, I think, a 57-year-old doctor, and I think the guy that killed him was in his 30s. Anyways, apparently he was screaming. Ooman put up your anti-white slogans. I can't remember. I just can't remember, right? Anti-white slogans. So the news media, how can you ignore all of the facts? Why do they play only selective facts? Stuff like that. Ooh, man says the news is saying there's no connection between them, even though earlier today the news says that was his patient. And that the guy recognized, like he knew the doctor rode a bike and he was down there. The motive is unclear. Am I wrong, Ooh, man? I think that the offensive vehicle, and we need to outlaw automobiles because too many people are killed every year in them. I think it was a Lexus. Am I wrong? Ooh, man, was it a fucking Lexus or you don't know? It was a Ooh, man's giving me this. I've got it. He's like, Ooh, man's got a very small part of my screen here. It's probably because he's Germanic, and so they only get a small part of the screen. Anyways, no, it was a Lexus. That means the guy driving the car that hit the doctor, he was doing pretty fucking well. I can't afford a new Lexus. Can you afford a new Lexus? Ooh, man, can you afford a new Lexus? Can you just go out and hand him a handful of cash? Here's $120,000 for a new Lexus. Right? He's doing pretty fucking good. So it wasn't about money. I don't know. We were told that maybe that the guy that got killed by the 5 cops and now maybe 6 cops, he was sleeping with someone's wife. Maybe the doctor was sleeping with this guy's ex-wife. But why the racial slurs? I mean, unless the guy doing the hitting and stabbing. He didn't do hit and run. He did hit and stab, right? Jeffrey Dahmer is jealous. He's like, oh, man, I wish I had thought of that way to kill someone. But he was so busy stabbing the fuck out of this guy that really brave citizens like held the dude They like tackled him and stopped him and like held him. And he was arrested, right? The murderous assailant. So, Jesus, what a fucking Friday. And Oomhan says, apparently he also had a BB gun. Well, I tell you what, I don't have an answer for that. This whole week has been bizarre. Bizarre to an incredible degree. The amount of information that came out about President Biden, his files, the fact that his man transported files out of the White House, the fact that the FBI doesn't seem to give a fuck, but then they're going to search one house, but only after giving Biden weeks of notice that they knew there was something there. And then, well, Mike Pence stands and goes, well, I think I might have some secret documents at my place back in Butthole, Indiana. Yeah, maybe you should go look there. And that way it looks like everyone's got secret documents. Like, we're going to fucking believe that. Yeah, everyone has secret documents just laying around. You know, it's not like Biden did anything wrong by violating numerous federal laws regarding national security, top secret document clearance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What a fucking world. What a week. Holy bad shit. Ah! Yep. I'm starting to think that if it wasn't an EMP in that balloon, I think that it's probably full of cerveza bugs, or I really think that that's it. It's full of, it's full of germs and shit. And they don't want that to land on the ground, break open and spill shit. I wonder if Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milli Vanilli, I wonder if he put down his tube of lipstick and quit applying it to himself and stopped pulling his fishnet stockings up. I wonder if he called his good buddies over in communist China and said, hey, what's in that balloon anyways? What's up there with that? What's up with that? I wonder about that. Don't shoot it down. Don't shoot it down. Even though it's going to fly over a key naval base in its current path. In fact, the Pentagon spokesdick, I think it was a general or a colonel, what's-his-face, got in front of a podium and said, we're not going to tell you exactly where it is, but if you want, you can go outside and look up for it. That's the fucking stupidity that comes from the military. I think this was an Air Force officer. I can't be certain, but I think that his uniform was blue. I think he was wearing blue Alphas. Okay, sorry. When I was a Marine, the uniform, if you had the long sleeves, the coat, beige shirt, tie, that was Alpha. If you took the coat off with long sleeve shirt, that was Bravos. And if you had a short sleeve shirt, no tie, beige shirt, then those are Charlies. These guys get up and they want to look all good on TV and say, and just appear to be very powerful men in Washington, D.C. And he says, I'm not going to tell you where that balloon is. You're just going to have to go outside and look up at the sky. What a fucking coward. What a pussy. It's not like Americans have surface-to-air missiles, and if they got the exact coordinates of this thing, they could actually shoot it down. They just want to know where the fuck it is. Tell them, you dickwads. It just tells me they're hiding something. Yeah, they're hiding something. They truly are. Okay. These fucking people. I tell you. This story is up. Do you remember Doug Schoen? He worked for Bill Clinton. They're trying to keep us distracted by bringing up Lewinsky again and bin Laden in the news, in the media, as if we don't have enough to think about and look at and try and figure out, right? Now, this is quite interesting. There's another thing. I want to switch over to free speech. Folks, if anybody, if anybody has something to say that is wrong, stupid, way off base, let them say it. Because if they're wrong, you can come out and give more evidence, more information, and show that that person's wrong. And if they're fucking stupid, you get to do the same thing and then point at them and go, that guy's so stupid, he said this, and here are the facts. That's right. Here are the facts. But there are 37 socialist, Marxist, Arizona State University faculty members. 37 of them have signed a petition so that they can silence Robert Kiyosaki, Dennis Prager, and Charlie Kirk. They're so afraid of Robert Kiyosaki, who is, by the way, I believe a Marine Corps helicopter pilot turned economist and virulent pro-American, pro-gun, that's right, pro-gun speaker. And he's very, shall I say, articulate, charming, fascinating, and fucking smart as fuck. So they don't want him to speak. So rather than say, well, we can argue against Robert Kiyosaki, they try to silence him. That's what fascist scumbags do. That's what communist scumbags do. I'm following you, man. I see you. Right? Dennis Prager, Prager University. Charlie Kirk, that's Captain Kirk's brother. Because, you know, Captain Kirk is James T. Kirk. This is Charlie Kirk, right? They're afraid of people. They're afraid of words. They're afraid of ideas that differ from theirs. And that's how fucking weak they are. But they also think they're so powerful that because they signed a petition, someone should give a fuck and do exactly what they want. Well, I tell you what, I wish I could just tell all those people point blank, mano to mano, face to face, just say, look, you're a fucking pussy. I don't give a shit about your degrees, the fact that you kissed ass or sucked on something to get that degree. I don't give a shit that you had to spend 6 or 7 or 8 years to get that degree rather than get a job and work your ass off and pay your taxes. Instead, you sucked up in college and you spent your whole life there. And now you want everyone to kiss your ass and think you're the experts. I think we've had enough fucking experts. I think we've had enough of science telling us to do things that are fucking destructive to our own bodies. Oh, yeah, here's a fucking example. And Mr. Skylight sent this to me earlier. Mike Adams did a terrific expose of what is in edible crickets, edible insects, edible bugs, right? They opened up a box of this shit and poured it out and put it under the magnifying glass and under a microscope and took a fucking look at it, right? And I'm going to read you Mr. Skylight's. He had this to write about it. Apparently, humans don't digest cricket skeletons very well. No, humans do not digest cricket or any other bug very well. They have an exoskeleton, meaning their outside skin is like a skeleton, like bones. It has to resist sunlight, heat, moisture, other insects, other diseases, etc. So no, we don't digest them very well. Now back to Mr. Skylight. He says, although when I took an introductory survival class from Tom Brown Jr., the author of Grandfather, we had the choice to try some fried crickets, which didn't taste too bad, actually. They were crunchy. And if you're hungry enough, anything starts to look good. That is correct. If you're starving to death, you'll try and eat any fucking thing. So when Mike Adams did his little thing, he looked at, this cricket meal, cricket snacks, bug snacks. They put spices on them to make them taste good. But he said looking under the microscope was disgusting. They're covered in all these little hairs, Their hairs are like little barbed swords. Their fucking legs, their eyeballs, their buttholes are all clearly visible. All these cricket parts. I'll tell you something else about crickets, folks. They are living organisms, just like all the other bugs. Now, we're very large as an organism, right? Inside our chest and our abdominal cavities, we have large organs. We have huge organs. We have an incredible immune system to defeat all of the parasites. Take apart a bug. They have the most rudimentary circulatory system. They have the most rudimentary digestive system. They are not very sophisticated. And so I will submit to you, and I hope that someone does a test to find out what fucking parasites live inside of insects. And I'm willing to bet you dollars to donuts, whatever that means, that these parasites that are in these bugs are still alive after being processed. Think about it. Disease. Insects, folks, will eat any garbage they get. Pile of dog shit or bullshit. Bugs are on it. Bugs are in it. Bugs are living. Parasites. What do you think is inside bugs? I'm going to go a step further with you. Piss you off real good. Make you furious. Where does malaria come from? A mosquito. A bug. A bug. A fucking mosquito. All it has to do is poke you with one tiny hole into your skin and get through your skin with its dirty, filthy fucking insect proboscis. And you've got malaria, if that mosquito has malaria, which is a disease that has killed hundreds of millions of people throughout human history. It's a nasty disease. It's a parasitic disease. Did you know that the malaria life cycle is a human gets bit? The malaria is in the human. The malaria circulates through the human's body. It reproduces at huge rates and kills the human. And then other mosquitoes bite the human and suck the malaria up. And then it works its little thing inside the mosquito. And then it goes, that's its Kuma Matata, its circle of life. Is it needs a human host, then it needs to go back to a mosquito. Or it needs a dog or an animal, some other host, and then back to the mosquito. That's just one parasitic disease. You want to eat fucking bugs? You go right ahead. I prefer to cook my meat. I decided years ago, no more sushi. I love sushi. Tastes good. Not going to eat it. Raw fish, not going to eat it. Because I don't trust these fuckers anymore. I don't trust them. And if you're hungry enough, though, anything starts to look good, I certainly agree with you, folks. Edible insects. Who says they're edible? Folks, just because you can put it in your mouth and it doesn't kill you doesn't make it edible. I can eat a fucking stick off of a tree and it won't kill me. Is it edible? I can eat a fucking rock. Swallow a quarter. I can swallow broken glass. And as long as it doesn't kill me, that makes it edible? What's the nutritional value in these fucking insects? But they want to feed them to your kids. They want to kill us, folks. They really do. Thank you. And by the way, Mr. Skylight, I almost lost my fucking lunch listening to Mike Adams describe what he was seeing under the microscope. Okay, oh man. Oh, we got Michael Brown. And he says, John, how can they justify disarming us and they compromising our national security on many different levels? I'll tell you, Michael, the reason they justify it, disarming us, is because they don't trust us. They hate us. They don't like us. And so they don't mind compromising national security because they don't see men like you and men like me or any of us. They don't see us as a national security, shall I say, reserve power, or a national security asset, or a national security resource. They see us as a threat, and that's how they use that to justify. They actually see us as compromising national security by having guns, right? And so, yeah, they'll disarm us, and it does compromise us on many different levels. At the national level, at the local level, right? All of these things. They don't give a shit about us, man. This is just my opinion, of course. Of course, everyone is welcome to their own, but this is my fucking opinion. And I'm pretty pissed off today over this and many other things, right? I almost used fucking Beto and his Beto on guns.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore. Hell.
See, they say the AR-15 is used against our fellow Americans. Not true. That's really an inaccurate statement. That's really an inaccurate statement. How many times is the AR-15 used properly every day of the year? Compared to how many times is it improperly used by criminals? Well, if there are 500 million AR-15s, which I think there are, how many are there? Does anyone know? I'm pretty sure it's like it's the most popular rifle on the planet. It's used properly or not used at all, but a very tiny percentage use them improperly. But that's all the Democrats focus on. That's all these commie bastards focus on, Michael, is the ones that are used improperly, because they want to use that as justification. Oh my God, someone died because of one of those. We got to take it away from all the people, you know? Well, I always like to say, fuck them. But, you know, what do I know, right? The fact that we find out every time one of these dumb bastards uses one of these, that dumb bastard is a Democrat, right? He's got no common sense. He was probably raised by a derelict parent. And there's a lot of derelict parents out there, folks. And that's a great way to make Democrats. You know, and I just see Democrats as people who don't like this country. Look at every Democrat in Washington, D.C. They want to get rid of your First Amendment. They want to take away your Second Amendment. They want to completely shit on and destroy the rest of what is left of the Fourth and Fifth Amendments. And they hate the 10th Amendment. Oh, man, do they hate it. But in my opinion, Michael, that's how they justify disarming us. They see us as a threat, not just to the nation, but to their power in Washington, D.C. So I tell you what, man, why don't you do me a favor tonight, Michael? Why don't you step outside and look up and see if you can see where that Chinese balloon is? Maybe the Prepared Mind Network can point it out to everyone, since the Pentagon isn't willing to do their fucking job and let us know about an actual national security risk, a piece of high-tech Chinese hardware in our country that they're not willing to shoot down, take down, capture, or anything else. Unbelievable. Wow. Okay. What do we got? Oh, man, what do we got? I've got another story I want to get to, but we got Bonnie Blue. Okay. Well, I got a news flash just came through. The man accused of plowing his Lexus into a Southern California doctor who was on his bike, then stabbing him to death, is charged with murder and is being held on a $1 million bail. Dude had a Lexus. Anyways, wow. And he's accused. You got fucking multiple witnesses and evidence from security devices, and he's just accused. The alleged dude. No, fucking they caught him. They're like, dude, we see the knife in your hand, and you're plunging it into and out of this guy's chest. You're not accused. You know, you're caught. We saw you. Okay, let's see Bonnie Blue's comment, statement, question, thoughts. She said, one thing I've been reading is people reporting odd radar activity over certain types of perimeter home alarms and CB radios, K-band blips. Connecting it now to this balloon thing. That is interesting. I haven't heard this. Once again, the alien probe from Empire Strikes Back. It was all beep, 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 pop, 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 beep, 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 and they messed with it and it blew up, right? It was a, what did they call it? It was a, it was a Emperor's probe. Anyways, I don't know what this fucking balloon thing is, and I just don't trust it. Right? When you're in charge of protecting the country's borders, don't you think you should take it seriously? Apparently not in the United States of America. They leave the southern border open, right? And they give Lexuses to knife-wielding murderers. Oh, yeah. Now, I'm not even going to read that. It's conjecture from a commercial pilot. I don't care. Now, this came up. The fact that Japanese used balloons to disseminate chemical and biological weapons in World War II. Now, just so you know, Japan let air currents. These were completely passive bombs. I remember them being described as fire bombs. In other words, they were balloons that were designed to float over the Pacific, go over the United States of America, and incinerate and cause fires all over the country. Yeah, balloons are kind of an interesting way, it's slow speed. Now I'm looking at a map. You know how they have the hurricane and like it could go this way or it could go that way, but there's most of them are up in the middle. They have this kind of like array of where something is going to go. They now have an array of where this Chinese balloon is going to go. And it appears that it's going to go as far to the west as Louisiana and as far to the east as northern Georgia, which leaves Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana traveling through Kentucky and Tennessee to come and screw us. Quite interesting. And then one of the lines shoots across the Atlantic, like makes a beeline for Spain. It's like, fuck you guys, I'm out of here. Look out. We don't know what this is. Okay, let's do this though. I believe Uman says we have an interesting comment here from the Kazman. The Italian hillbilly says, what GOP governor is going to have the balls to use their sovereign authority and order the National Guard power to take out the foreign military aircraft over their state? I know who has the balls, but who has the balls to use their balls? My best guess would be, of course, Governor DeSantis down there in Florida. Will he use Florida National Guard F-16s to shoot this thing down before it flies over the state of Florida? The state of Florida is in the sweet spot. And the state of Florida has Pensacola. It has down in Tampa has another air base. It has some naval bases. A lot of military there. Now, the United States government, folks, remember this. The United States government claims that it owns the fucking air. The Federal Aviation Administration, Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and they claim to own the fucking airwaves, the broadcast airwaves, the frequencies. They claim to own shit. But a state governor also has a duty to his state, and he's sworn an oath. Yeah, we've got some interesting questions to be answered. And once again, I don't want anyone hurt. I don't want anyone dead. But I want America to learn its fucking lessons. That the government has had its opportunity to solve this crisis. And it is a crisis. Not every crisis results in everyone dying. Crises can come and go. And oftentimes nothing bad happens, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it is a crisis because of the potential. Because it's an unknown, it has potential. There's no human up there, so you're not killing a human by shooting this thing down. And if it has bombs on it, explosives, chemical weapons, biological weapons, maybe they ought to shoot it down in a place where it is least likely to cause trouble. And of course, send government officials there with their little space suits on to protect them, and they can clean it up. That's their job. That's why we pay these fucking people. Somewhere, somehow in this country, that's their fucking job. Rescuing us from falling biological and chemical weapons that come out of the sky. I guarantee you that's someone's job. Now, I'm going to wrap up this show. The Dutch, that means the Dutch government, wants to send stealth jets to Ukraine. I think they're F-35s. They've arrived in Poland, and Poland has demonstrated a willingness to pass along technology they have to Ukraine. This is just going to be brilliant beyond human capacity. Absolutely brilliant. We really want Ukraine to have high technology so they can fight Russia. I don't see how that's going to end very well at all. I really don't. I really don't see how that's going to help anyone one bit. In fact, it could just spark off World War III and make things just a little bit hotter on the planet. I thought we were supposed to not destroy the environment with things, much less nuclear weapons. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Godspeed, Semper Fi, and I'll see you Sunday night live, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. I'll see you there.